says push, nothing happens. Kind of disappointing, but it's kind of leaning a little bit. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of What in the Absolute World Have We Got Ourselves Into? If you have no clue what we're talking about, should be a link up in the top right-hand corner. Go check out that video. But with that being said, obviously we picked up this 2020 Nissan Altima SR off the auction block. As you can see, has a good little bit of damage around the front of the car. But had to pick up an Altima, right? Had to be part of this big Altima energy.
The fire's on fire!
But nonetheless, like I said, bunch of front end damage here. Need to get all this ripped off today. As you've seen in the previous video, cranked it up, it ran fine, no issues. No check engine lights, none of that. Moved forward, backward, I got it into the garage easily, no issues. Just got to replace a bunch of cosmetic stuff and I believe possibly some suspension on the right-hand side or left-hand side. As I was backing into the garage, the donut was kind of rubbing, which a donut should obviously never rub because it's, what, a quarter of the size, maybe half of the size of a regular tire. So probably got some suspension damage over there. I would say I ordered probably about 90 to 95% of everything already. The only thing I have not ordered was the hood and the driver door. I may see if the driver door is savable. It's not that badly damaged, but I did kind of put it on the list in case it did need to be replaced. However, the hood, getting it off of eBay or anywhere online, it's like $200, $300, $400 for shipping. Obviously, it's such a huge piece. So, you know, a few $100 hood turned into close to $1,000 hood. So I'm gonna check some salvage yards and some junk yards around here. Hopefully I can find one locally so I can go pick it up and it is a lot cheaper. But for now, I think we're gonna obviously start tearing all this apart, assessing any damage underneath all these body panels and go from there. All right, where's my duct tape? Ooh, super glue. Ooh, there's the duct tape. All right, let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So real quick before I do anything, I'm probably gonna install this little cheap, it's literally like a little Temu thing on the wall over there. I'm gonna kind of use that to, I guess I was just gonna put like, you know, like a little sticker and put like hood bolts or something just to kind of stay better organized, I guess. I didn't want to just chunk everything in bags and all that. Bags get loose. I figured it'd be better if I put that on the wall and then like when they're all in there, I can hit it accidentally with something and then all the bolts can kind of fly out. Figured that was just kind of like the better thing. So we'll give that a shot first. Like I said, didn't order the hood. I got a new bumper. I got new headlights, got the new fender, got a bunch of other little things on here. I was looking at this fender, kind of hard to tell on camera. I know I mentioned it last video, but you can see the crinkle kind of right there and it's pushed in. It's really hard to tell. You might be able to tell from that angle. Yeah, you can see how it's pushed in right there. And what I'm hoping is, if you look on this side, it has little brackets that go from, I guess it would be like the bottom of the, I don't know, apron support or something like that. It bolts into it, and then it bolts right into the fender here. I'm hoping that little support bar is bent on this side, and I'm able to pop this out a little bit. We'll see. That's wishful thinking. But I went ahead and ordered the fender support brackets for both sides and we'll kind of assess that. So I'm gonna grab those little tote thingies, get those installed right there, and then we'll start tearing all this apart. All right, so got this little thing installed. Honestly, I was neglecting the fact that I was actually installing it properly in a way that it wouldn't fall, especially this being pegboard, but I just kind of tossed it on there however way I could see it went on there. It went on there fine and it's kind of on there pretty tight, but paid like $2.77 off Temu for this thing. That's cheaper than it would have cost me to buy like little bags to put all the hardware in bags. So I was like, why not? anyways, got that little thing installed. We're gonna use it just kind of, like I said, to organize some bolts and stuff that I pull off. I'll just throw a little piece of tape on whatever bucket and chunk the bolts in there and hope and pray that it doesn't fall off and bolts go everywhere in here, but no big deal. Anyways, all right, now let's start tearing into this thing and getting all this whole front end taken off there. All right, so got the whole front bumper off here. This front crash bar actually looks great. There's not even a dent in it or anything, which is kind of surprising for being a front end damage here. And bumper, unfortunately, is no good. See, it snapped off there. Obviously, we knew it was no good, but it's, yeah, got a new one ordered, so all good there. We'll just keep tearing stuff off. Got all the headlight hardware. Obviously there was no headlight there, but luckily all the hardware and the broken tabs and all that were there, so no hardware missing there. However, on this side, all that hardware, everything was there. That light was there. However, as you can see here a little better now, this tab is pretty much snapped. There's supposed to be a tab right here. It is no longer there. As you can see underneath, it is all snapped right there, broken right there, and then this top tab that comes up towards the fender is also missing. So I suspected that. When I lifted up the hood, you can kind of see this top tab that was right here that was snapped off. But luckily these headlights are fairly inexpensive. I got a pair of them. They were like $150 to $200 for both of them, brand spanking new. So went ahead and ordered those, got both of those on the way. But obviously there's always a couple of extra damages when you get a front end collision. Obviously, as you can see, the tube to the windshield wiper fluid is not exactly on there anymore. And as I suspected, this is the fender mount. You can see this huge wrinkle in it and it's pushed forward. So it's pretty much pulling on the fender right now. We're gonna get that removed here in just a minute. I believe the windshield wiper fluid reservoir is okay. I didn't see any holes or anything. It's still holding fluid. There's a lot of stress in a bunch of areas on it. You can see how like white it is when it's stressed out. It's still mounted in a couple of spots other than right here, where it had pulled from the bracket. Somehow it did not break the tab in there. It just pretty much pulled the bolt right out. And I think I may be okay. We'll see. We're gonna get this emptied and pulled off and leak check it and all that, make sure it is good. Another thing I noticed was when the bumper was on, I could still see it. I noticed that the shutter underneath here was snapped. You can see it's pretty broken. And then underneath, the bottom tabs on both sides are snapped off. I got lucky and it just snapped the tab on the shutter itself. It didn't hurt the bottom of the radiator support, but it did push back a little bit farther than I'd liked. And as you can see, it's hard to probably see right there. I think the other day when I had fired it up on the trailer, it was fairly hot out and I just kicked the AC over. I heard the system kind of come on for a moment and I just got a blast of, I guess it would be cool air. To me, it felt kind of cold because it was hot out, I think. And then I just kind of shut it back off. I didn't want to mess with anything. I wanted to make sure all this was good before I just started cranking the AC or whatever. So I think I'm gonna have to order a new condenser, get that installed. And then there's a couple other small pieces. I'm gonna have to look at some diagrams. This was just kind of like laying up here, as well as this one. And then at the bottom, there's a random wire just kind of cut right here. The actuator for the shutter is installed. It's still there, and the connector is there still. So this isn't to the shutter. I'm gonna have to find out what this is to, and try to source that plug or whatever goes on the end of it. It's not a fog light or the turn signal because they're both, I think it's, yeah, they're both over here still. And then I don't see anything else on the front here that it could go to. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Not a big deal. I think I'm gonna move on to probably getting the shutter removed and probably go ahead and get this windshield wiper fluid drained out and get this reservoir off and get it inspected and everything, make sure it's not leaking. That way, if it is, I can go ahead and get that on order. I got the shutter on order, lights on order, front bumpers on order, fog lights are ordered, or not fog lights, sorry, turn signals, and then the little plastic trim piece underneath the turn signals are also ordered. Ordered a bunch of little things, a bunch of clips. I noticed there was a ton of clips that are just snapped. So I ordered like a whole box of 100 of them that go to this car specifically. It's not a big deal there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna move on to the shutter, get it removed, and the reservoir. So got the shutter all off, got the reservoir drained, got it off. Had a bright idea to clean it out in the rain, so now I'm wet. But anyways, I think this reservoir is good. There's some scratches, there's some small like dents, but no holes. It held fluid. I didn't see anything leaking out anywhere. There's a little dent there. Replaced the little breather tube that was in the cap. I just had some random hose that fit it perfectly laying around, so I just went ahead and replaced it. I think that's going to be good. We won't know until we get it put back in and get fluid in there. We'll just have to keep an eye on it when we do. For now, we're going to move on to getting that driver fender off and then getting this mangled bracket off of this passenger side. And I'm hoping once I relieve the pressure off of this fender, it'll kind of move back out, and then we'll assess this little kink that it put in it here in a little while. As far as the condenser goes, I went ahead and ordered another one. It was super inexpensive. They were like $50 to $70 offline. So I just ordered a new one and got that coming in. And then we'll just replace that. I think once I get the fenders off, I may go ahead and pull the crash bar and all this stuff up front off. That way, as soon as that condenser comes in, we can just slap it in. And then honestly, from there, we're just putting it back together. So let's move on to, we'll do the driver fender first, and then we'll hop back over here on the passenger side. Also wanted to make note that my little hardware bins here, they worked out pretty well. Kind of put some tape on it, labeled what everything was. So for $2, I don't think you can beat it. Pretty much got everything that I want to take off for now off. You saw I got the fender bracket on the passenger side here. The fender, it did kind of bounce back out. However, there's still a little, I was able to bend it out a little bit, but there's a little low spot right here. So I'll toy around with it. It did push, it's kind of hard to tell, but the fender was kind of like way in. Now it's back out where it needs to be. So that's good, but this little ding right here, not so good. This little low spot, not so good. But yeah, I got the mangled bracket off. You can see those over here. They're pretty messed up on both sides. So like I said, ordered some new ones of those. Then obviously got the pretty mangled fender off. It was a little bit of a challenge because towards the bottom it was smashed in, and I was worried it may have hit the inner structural piece, but honestly everything right here looks great. Nothing's dented in or anything like that. All the brackets, I got a little bit of a mess down here that was back in there, and it says push, nothing happens. Kind of disappointed, but other than that, the whole apron here, everything looks good. Nothing, no wrinkles, no dents or anything like that. However, the suspension that I mentioned before, can't really tell, but it's kind of leaning a little bit. And if you look, I was kind of looking, You can see the gap on this side of the nut is pretty big, and on the back side it's pretty small. And I just kind of reference this side. It might be hard to tell, but you can see this one's like dead center of this hole here. So something's definitely going on over there. But yeah, so I got a couple of more parts to order. Probably just gonna get a whole strut for that side, see if that fixes that up, if there's something deeper going on. I'm definitely gonna lift it up, pull both front tires off, and just kind of look at the entire suspension, see if I see anything broken, damaged, anything like that. But I am gonna get a strut on order. Got the condenser on order. There's a couple of small odds and end pieces here, like this little fender bracket right here, or bumper bracket to the fender on that side obviously was completely missing. So gotta get that ordered. Gotta figure out the connector at the bottom. A couple of small things. I got a little list as I was pulling all this apart that I still need to order. All right, so that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. As you see, we pretty much got all the damaged parts across the front end here removed and everything. I do have a few other little things, like I said, the condenser, this shock strut, and there's a couple little clips and little things here and there that I noticed were missing or broke when I was removing everything, but not a big deal. I need to go get that stuff ordered so I can get it on its way. I have a bunch of parts already on the way. They should be here later this week. So definitely gonna be tossing this thing back together super quickly. But for now, I got pretty much a mess in here that I need to organize and clean up and sort and all that good stuff. So gonna get that knocked out off camera. As always, guys, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of content. I know it's a little different than what we normally do on this channel, but I like having projects. I like doing little things like this, seeing if I can get something back to OEM that was wrecked in this case at least. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if y'all enjoyed the video, definitely hit that like button. Stay tuned, see how this thing turns out. Hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't already. And let me know what you guys think we should do next. Should we do another little car like this? Should we mess with motorcycles? What should we do here? And if you guys enjoyed this, I don't mind doing this. It's fun. It's definitely a challenge, and I enjoy the challenge to try to get this thing back together after it's been crashed. So I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned, see how this thing turns out. See you guys in the next one.
I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh